Man, Bill, that's a ton of screws you got here. You know, your job's really not that big.
I know, but I wasn't sure what to get, and while we were at the store, thought I'd get a little bit of everything. I'll take it back later. Maybe.
Yeah, the buy everything and hope for the best strategy, because trial and error is definitely the most efficient way to get a job done.
Yeah, I know, but look at it this way. I will have plenty of big timber fasteners for my next job.
Or you could figure out what you need before you leave the store, and you don't have to sort through all this stuff later.
Okay, you're right again. Why don't you show me which of these fasteners is the best fastener for this job?
Now you're talking. But let's start with some basics first. Length and gauge. Gauge refers to the thickness of the screw. Common sizes are number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, and up. The bigger the number, the thicker and stronger the screw. Length is measured from where the screw sits flush on the material to the tip. In the US, screw length is typically written in inches.
All right, so screw thickness determines strength, and the length determines how deep it holds.
Exactly, but you can't just grab the biggest screw to get the job done. You gotta match the screw to the job.
That thing looks like it belongs in a log cabin.
You know, it just might.
I guess size does matter.
Smaller gauges, like a number 6 or number 7, work for lighter jobs like trim, cabinetry, smaller wood projects, etc. Mid-range gauges, like number 8 to number 10, are more versatile, good for general construction and heavier duty wood fastening. Larger gauges, like number 12 and up, are for more structural applications like framing, engineered lumber, or outdoor builds that need serious holding power like a log cabin.
So bigger gauge means stronger.
Not exactly. Although a thicker gauge can handle more load, if it's too big for the material, you could split the wood or make installation a lot harder than it needs to be. Bottom line is this: pick the right gauge for the job, and when in doubt, refer to the lumber manufacturer's recommendations.
Or you could just buy everything and sort it out later.
Yeah, and how'd that work out for you?
All right, I know length matters too, but sometimes I don't know what the right length is. Usually I'll just go with what looks about right.
Well, that works until it doesn't. Even if you choose the right gauge, choosing the wrong length can still ruin your project. There's a simple rule. The fastener's length equals twice the thickness of the thinnest material being applied.
So if the screw is too short,
then you get a weak connection, and before you know it, you're getting callbacks from your customer to come back and fix loose boards.
but if it's too long,
then it pokes through the other side, and it reduces the effectiveness of the fastener's pull-out strength.
wow, neither one of those is fun.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to choose the right gauge and the right length.
But hey, look at this. If you have two 2x4s, you need a 3-inch screw.
Now you're getting it, Bill. As you know, a 2x is 1.5 inches thick, not 2 inches. Always go off of the actual dimension and not the nominal dimension. In the case of your two 2x's, this 3-inch screw is the perfect size. It gives you a solid connection, and it doesn't minimize the effectiveness of that fastener's pull-out strength.
All right, let's see if I learned something. So I need a screw to frame the greenhouse with 2x4s. One that's strong, long enough to hold, but not overkill. This one, number 10 gauge, 3 inches long. It'll be strong, long enough to bite deep, but not so long that it pokes through the wood.
Now that's how you pick the right screw, Bill.
See, I did learn something. So, now that we picked out the right screw, do you think we could finally have some lunch?
All right, we'll get a quick bite, but only if we get to talk fasteners while we eat.
You never turn it off, do you?